Welcome back to the Strategic Veteran. I'm your host, Adam Peters, and some moments brand themselves into you for life. For Robert Novotny, it was the call on his 24th birthday in Japan, the day he lost his closest friend in the Corps to suicide. That, mixed with a sting of being NJP'd and realizing that leadership sometimes means protecting your own, not just enforcing the rule book. Robert's story isn't about the glory of rank. It's about the gut punches you take in service and the hard reckoning with who you want to be on the other side. Now Robert leads from a different front, in the trenches of financial planning and veteran advocacy, showing vets how to actually build something lasting for their families. It's not about flashy success. He's living proof that real affluence is energy you give back to the community. This one's for you if you've ever looked at your post-military life and wondered if you ever truly feel at home in it. We're going to dig into what it actually takes to own your next chapter, money, legacy, setbacks, and all. So let's get into it. Robert, brother, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being here.
Here we go, man. Hell of an intro.
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm really excited to get to chat with you from the first time we met, what you're doing in the financial landscape, particularly in New York City, and the fact that you're a crane-eating Marine. And we just had great energy from the beginning. So I've been excited for this one. So let's just dive right in, man. Where did you grow up, and what inspired you to become a United States Marine?
Yeah, so I grew up about 60 miles east of Manhattan. So born in the 80s, kind of kid, thought I was going to be Dave Mirra, so always in like the rougher crowds, out there at skate parks and stuff. And
Dave Mirra, the bicyclist guy, right?
Yeah, dude.
No,
yeah.
Dude, one of my favorites growing up too. I learned how to bunny hop because of that guy.
Yeah. So I grew up in like the woods. Like people don't know, but as you get outside of Manhattan, like 60 miles east of Manhattan is where the forks split on Long Island, and it's all woods and stuff like that, and it's protected. It's where like the aquifers are, and that's where I grew up in the woods, like building tabletops and trying to do tail whips and so yeah, dude, hell of a good childhood, man. I loved every piece of it. And I was at 14 like for 9/11, so you're kind of old enough to know something. I was in a high school, so like September 11th happens, it's 8:46 in the morning, and we're all in school, and then people start getting phone calls and or pages, actually. Like we had pagers, we didn't have cell phones yet, so people start getting called over the loudspeaker to go to the early pickup, and then by third period it's 10 a.m. and it's on every TV. So the next day, right, September 12th, you get the recruiters in the cafeteria, and that was it. So like I got to see like who's talking to these people. I'm over here trying to score a dime bag and, go cut school and ride my bicycle. And then you see like the all-state wrestler, the captain of the football team, and even people in my group, right? Like the hacky sack playing people were like, I want to go cause chaos. They came to us, and like it was everyone's family was impacted. So it was, I was close. And then you saw what branch of service people actually went to. And the Army, when I graduated in 2005, the Army was big on this bonus stuff, which was great. But then the Marine guy came over to me and he's like, son, you have purple and orange hair.
Did you really? You had purple and orange hair?
So I had a purple mohawk with orange on the sides. And
hell yeah.
Like the funny story, Dakota Meyer says it all the time. And he's like, the Marine Corps recruiting machine spends no money and does the best, because it's like, kid,
right?
There's really nowhere else for you. So that's it. I didn't pick it; it picked me. But it was the best thing I ever did. So I leave for. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's cool to hear your September 11th story, because I think we're roughly the same age. You graduated in 2005, you said? I graduated in 2003. So I was actually a sophomore in high school when 9/11 happened. And I remember it very differently than what you're talking about. Not in the sense of like what was going on. I was also an hour behind you. So, I'm getting ready for school, and I come upstairs, and my grandmother lived with us at the time, and she was watching TV in the morning, and I'm like headed out the door to go drive myself to school or whatever. And she's like, you're going to want to see this. And, I see the first tower has been hit, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Right. And then, sit there a little bit longer, making myself late to school. And I watch the second plane hit, drive to school, and they're already, because we're an hour behind East Coast time in Indiana, they're already every classroom's got a TV in it. Like, you already know this is what we're going to be paying attention to the whole day. Football practice is canceled. However, the difference is the recruiters didn't show up till a few weeks later, so it wasn't immediate the next day. And it was a very different experience. Like, not a lot of kids from my school went and talked to any of them. None of the athletes, none of them like had that sense of service. And I think it's like proximity. You're in New York. It's like 60 miles away from you that this happened. You could probably look out in your backyard and see the dust cloud from the towers falling and all of that versus, I don't even know how far Indiana is from New York, but probably like 7, 8, 9 hours, something like that. Right. Like, just very different. And then, I would join roughly July of 2002 is when I joined the Army, and I would get told by all of my peers in high school, you're making a dumb mistake, you're going to die, like all that good shit. And I'm just like, man, none of you, like, you want to better yourself? Like, you don't want to go serve something bigger than yourself or like be involved. You just want to stay in Hick, Indiana kind of thing, Yeah. It was wild.
That's crazy. I've never heard anyone else's story from like, when I went to boot camp still, I went with all New Yorkers. Yeah. And we all rode the same bus from Staten Island, and 8-hour travel down south. And that's cool.
That's awesome.
It's interesting to hear.
So when you joined the Marines, what did you want to do? Did you have anything in mind, or are you just like, I need to serve, I'll take whatever you can give me? What does that look like? That one.
Right. It was that one. I didn't, and it's weird thinking back now, but like, the military in general is its own self-sustaining community where you can be a checkout person at Walmart and work for the like post exchange.
Yeah.
Like it's cool, to a chef, to a logistician, to, the frontline infantry. So I didn't know anything. My recruiter was a chef. So that was like, he was a cook, and he's like, dude, don't be a chef because MREs get dropped off. They don't need you. So you get stuck doing like crappy things.
Yeah.
So like, you go, you do the ASVAB, they're like, you will be good at these 4 jobs. And they were like, this one ships out September 12th. And I'm like, cool.
I'll take that.
It didn't matter. So I enlisted as your basic supply Marine. And got really like super fortunate. I got stationed at the Center of Excellence for Marksmanship, Quantico, Virginia, with a bunch of war heroes that were doing the rifle range. It was like their reprieve tour after getting, Navy Crosses and Silver Stars, and like, oh, my citation's up for the Medal of Honor, so I'll go teach lieutenants how to shoot. So like, those were the first Marines I met.
That's wild, man.
Wild, dude. And like, I'm a supply person on a rifle range. There was no need for me. I'm issuing Gore-Tex to 2 people a day. So like, just interesting way that I got introduced to the Marine Corps. I got to go to all of these cool schools, right? Like blow stuff up school, the breachers course, right? Just blow holes in walls with too much det cord and, not enough slack in the line. You're like, you're an idiot.
Because we all know supply guys need to know how to do that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yes. But so like, going to all those schools, it's who you know, got me to the right people, where Quantico is a non-deployable station. Mm-hmm. So once a year, the commandant said every Marine deploys. So I got to put my name into a hat and picked up with an infantry unit. And got to deploy because I had all of the stuff. So, dude, like, I was super, super fortunate. So, like, my entryway into the military isn't the standard, all of it was kind of unique, being where I was for 9/11, going when I wanted to, getting the orders to the station and meeting those people. So, really, really impactful, entry to the military.
What kind of education did you get being around that caliber of Marine?
All leadership, really, dude. It was the fundamentals are the fundamentals, right? And like, I was all around marksmanship, and the saying at our barracks was like, make Marines deadlier. And that was really reinforced. But it was we all lived in the same barracks. So when it was field day, right? Thursday, we're going to clean the barracks up. That was where like lessons learned were passed down. And like, not for nothing, it's I have, again, like the Navy Cross recipient sitting here eating pizza, ironing his Charlie uniform. Like, what?
Right.
And then like listen to stories of that and him be like, well, if I'm going to, yeah, I have a Navy Cross. People are going to look at that differently. I've got to be almost perfect.
Mm-hmm.
At least expect perfect. So that became one of the things, was like, I got to expect perfection everywhere. If this guy who is a hero is doing it, I have to do it. So really cool, like the standard of make Marines deadlier was passed down even to like uniform maintenance, which if you talk to a lot of Marine infantry, it's like that's not a tradition. Like our tradition is let's go win wars. I'm never going to put this one on, but from a Navy Cross recipient, you do. So
right.
it's cool.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you got to put your name in a hat, and then you get picked to go on a deployment. And where did you go on that deployment?
Yeah, so I hooked up with 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines in the Al Anbar province of Iraq. I got to do Haditha and Bani Tahrir in 2009. So we did their election in 2009, and we did the retrograde from the Syrian border, Al Qaim, down to TQ, and did like the last operating Marines.
Just missed me on that deployment because I was there. Yeah, I was there 07, 08 for 16 months. We actually, the Marines were in charge of my unit. And so we started out in Heat, Iraq. And then, look, I'm not going to talk shit about the Marines. I can just talk about my experience on that 16-month deployment. I was with 1st, 2nd, and 5th Marines. So the 1st, 2nd, 5th MEF authorized to wear their combat patches in an Army unit, which is pretty cool, actually. Got a Navy unit citation out of that deployment that I got to carry with me, which is a kind of a rare thing for an Army guy to have. However, some of those Marines were really fucked up, man. Like really, like left a bad taste in my mouth about how you guys do certain things and how you respect, inter branch operations and shit like that. Never in my life did I ever think I'd see a Marine Staff Sergeant tell off a Army Command Sergeant Major, a Battalion Sergeant Major. That was wild. However, I forget where I was going with this. Oh, you guys left your own unit out. So, way out by TQ and the Syrian border and all of that, how Jordan's just right down the road on the other side. And you guys had an outpost right there on the Jordan and Iraq border. You guys had left your guys out there for 3 weeks with no resupply or nothing. Nothing. We had to go take care of them. And I remember, too, you guys had taken over Camp Heat, which is where I started that 16-month deployment. And I was one of the last probably 10 or 12 guys out of there. And you guys treated us like dog shit, man. You locked the freezers. You wouldn't let us in. You pushed armed guards on the chow halls. And you made us sleep under the, those damn HESCO, whatever, the concrete bunkers.
Like upside down U's?
Yeah, the upside down U's that you would go hide in for mortars. That's where we had to sleep for 2 days because your bitch-ass pilots wouldn't fly if there was a speck of dust in the air to take us where we needed to go to get to the rest of our unit. It just wasn't a good experience for me, man. And I only say that to say that like we missed each other on that deployment. So I'm super familiar with the areas that you were in because I spent a lot of time in them.
Yeah, Hit got bad when we were there because they knew we were leaving again too.
Yeah.
So like it was, that's a damn shame.
What's really a damn shame about the whole Heat situation is when we first got to Heat, that whole city was under shit water. And by the time we left and turned it over to you guys, we had paved roads and cleaned everything up and really turned the whole city around. And then we get word 2 months later that you guys aren't staying there. You're just breaking everything down, and everything had gone back to the way that it was, 6 months ago. It just that deployment also really opened my eyes to we weren't going to change a fucking thing in Iraq. You know what I mean? It's like what are we actually doing here?
Right.
So just really interesting to hear you. That's why I love this show so much, man. Is like we don't really know each other yet. We have a lot of things in common. We spent deployments in the same area and just missed each other.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I say like we've breathed the same air before.
Yeah, we have, man. We've walked the same ground. It's pretty cool, man. So after that deployment, you end up in Japan, right?
Yeah.
And that's where kind of your life changed with that phone call. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So when I was in Quantico, again, it being a non-deployable unit, enlisting in '05, being from New York, right? You think that all of the stories you hear from the recruiters and people that were coming home on leave and visiting the recruiters, and it was very close knit, and everyone's going to war and doing what they enlisted to do, and I'm stuck in a non-deployable unit from '06 to '09, really. So I was bummed, and then in walks this dude from, it's his second duty station now, Dan DeMeo, and he's just pumped to be there, full of energy, from Yonkers, right? So north of the city, as far as I was east, he was north. So someone from the area, and he was just ready to get after it, coming from a deployable unit, and he'd been around the world twice over, right? And he's like, dude, you bloom where you're planted type guy. So we become super, super close. He ends up coming up for like all my birthday parties and like Christmas. He would spend the first day with my family, go up, see his family, pick me up on the way home. So really became like an interwoven piece of my life. Helped me get, ready for Iraq. I was married at the time, and then come home and same story as everyone else, get divorced when I get back. So he helps me through my divorce, right? Just the best dude I've ever met in the entire world. So I go to Japan, and he stays in Quantico, and he hurts his back and is putting on weight and is getting on a med board to be separated out. And, one of the last conversations we had is he's like, I can't get my med board extended anymore. October looks like I'm getting out. And he's like, all I want to do is be a Marine, It's just unfortunate, I could hear it in his voice, and like, I'm probably going to get out after this tour, and we'll both move back to New York, dude, and we'll figure it out together. And then that was July 8th, and my ex-wife's birthday. So I'm in my feels, he's in his feels. And then my birthday is July 12th. And, the last thing my buddy ended up doing was wishing me a happy birthday.
They do it on your birthday?
On my birthday, 24th birthday.
Fuck, man.
Yep. Yeah, dude. So I say, like, if anything, I gave him 4 more days, right? He probably was going to do it on the 8th, but I was upset. So, like, the last things he did was, talk me down, and he's just a freaking awesome guy,
It's always the best ones, man. It's always the best ones, because a lot of the ones that really affected me, and there's tens and tens of them, like everybody else, but they were the biggest mentors I had in the Army. The people that I would have at least expected to do that. The ones that always had their shit together, at least on the outside. The ones that helped me the most, kind of like what you're saying. The one that at top of my mind is Master Sergeant Wesley Woods. I never saw that one coming, and that one was really heartbreaking when I got the notification on that one. It's a large reason why I even started building this platform. He was one of the last ones before I launched this and started doing all of this. And it just sucks, man. Some of the best men and women I've ever known, ever served with, seem to be the ones that ultimately lose that fight.
Right. And like, what a blessing. Even it was like a flicker in my life, it was, I met him in 2007 and he was gone in 2011. So 4 years of my life. And I mean, we're talking, it's been 16 years.
I know.
14 years. But like, he's still one of the most foundational things in my life. And his big leadership thing was, when you're over there, you have to genuinely care about your Marines.
Yeah.
If you start to not care about them, you got to pull yourself out.
Yeah.
Take a day, and like that today it's the foundation of all the leadership stuff I do. Is I genuinely, if I don't care anymore, I have to pull myself out.
100%. So did that have any impact on your decision to leave the Marine Corps?
I think so I got to do the infantry deployment as a supply guy, like really cool, got to find my way to do that. And then I was in Japan for the big earthquake as well. So I got to see both sides of what the military can do for people.
Dude, so you got to train lieutenants and teach them how to shoot and get an education from some real snake eaters, right? Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Then you get to go, on an infantry deployment, which look, I'm biased. I'm an infantry guy, so like we do it the best, right? Like we have the most fun, and we also live the shittiest. However, then you get to go to Japan, which is like a dream come true. Like who doesn't want to go to Japan? I see people. There's several people in my network that just stayed in Japan. They just never left. Right. And so I hear nothing but good things about it. I do hear some Marines complain because I guess your rules are kind of dumb over there. They like kind of lock you down a little bit. But however, you're still in Japan, you know? And then you get to do some humanitarian stuff. So you really did get to see all of the capabilities of the Marine Corps.
Yeah. And at the time, like I was on island and my 2 senior enlisted were not. So I was in like the planning and operations for 72 hours. I was the dude, like the enlisted guy. So I got to really as an E5, I was doing like the master guns job. It was cool.
Yeah.
I got to sit in the general's office. That's wild. A 24-year-old. Yeah, I was a child. So I got to do some really, really cool stuff. And I think that was before Dan took his life. So once that happened, I'm like that, I can do more out than in. And my buddy told me that. He's like, look, can you do more as Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps or the President of the United? Like, you can't do both. Like, where can you do more? And that started the thought. And I didn't know what a nonprofit was. You get like the CFC booklet and you're like, pick 5 numbers and donate to them. You're like, cool.
I forgot about those damn things, man. Nobody ever explained it to you. They're just like, pick 5 and give money. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't even know. Like, you want me to give you money I don't have.
I know. They started boot camp too. They get you real good.
Oh yeah, dude. Back in 2003 when my fucking paycheck is like $800 a month if I'm lucky.
Yeah. Donate $50. Yeah.
What $50? I don't even have enough to pay, the car payment or gas or food. Like,
doesn't matter.
Don't need any of that shit. You got a DFAC.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
The Midget Donkey Foundation needs your money. Yeah. Okay.
Like, how do I know they're even getting my money?
Nah, they're not.
Yeah, for sure, man. I forgot all about those things, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So let's talk about. You got out in 2013, and so transition assistance didn't start till 2011. So it's been going for about 2 years. They revamped it in 2014. But you admit yourself that the transition programs were lacking. Everybody here that listens to this show knows I have a big beef with the transition program in general. It's the whole premise of this show. So what was your transition out like? Did it go smooth, or was it as rough as I expected? Probably was.
Yeah. As rough as you would expect. And so doing it from Japan didn't do me any favors either. Right.
You're not the only person that said that. I've talked to several people who have gotten out from overseas, and I guess the best way I can describe it is it's about 10 times worse than doing it in the States.
From a time zone stance alone, right? Yeah. Let alone I don't have a really robust translatable career, So it was like you said, it was very early in this transition assistance program, and the classes were fine, right? Don't get me wrong, the classes are fine it's government work, right? You're not going to get real great stuff anyway. When you do it from Japan, they only do 1 a month. So the lieutenant colonel that's got 30 years in and the brig Marines that are getting forced out are all in the same cohort. So you have, a 19-year-old that popped on a piss test with a 53-year-old who is like, Boeing
whose whole life has been
me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm getting a $280,000 sign-on bonus to go to Boeing. I don't, but it's
that's not in the cards for me. Fuck you.
I know. Right. Dude, cool. So it was interesting. The classes were fine. I went through it with another really good friend of mine who's my best friend to this day. And like we took it somewhat serious, and our goal was like him and I wanted to open a business. He's from Jersey, I'm from New York. Jersey Shore was really popular, and we're like, let's go through this class assuming that we're going to buy a tanning salon and really like see if it does anything. And it did for me. Like, it made this entrepreneurial spirit out of me, which is awesome.
Where did that first come from? Like, where did the idea for you and your buddy to start a business? Because I originally started this show on the premise that the path back to purpose for us as veterans is through entrepreneurship. I very much believe that. The reason I pivoted to really hammering on transition is because that's where I identified the major pain point is in the fact that all of these resources are thrown at you, as you can remember, that you're not given time to digest them or taught how to actually leverage them. It's just here's a resource, here's a resource, here's a resource. Read all these pamphlets. You can use this for X, Y, Z or whatever. But nobody really actually spends time with you telling you like how that works. And the one thing that they never talk about and was never presented to me in my entire life is, hey, you don't have to go to college. You don't have to get a job. There's so many resources out here if you want to become an entrepreneur. Yeah, it's a non-traditional path. It's a risky path or whatever.
Yeah.
I would argue it's really not that risky. I would argue that working until you die for another corporation, making them money is more risky. However, that's not the popular opinion here. What planted that seed for you? Because I know back then entrepreneurship wasn't mentioned at all in any tab class, and I still largely think that's probably true.
So it stemmed out of an NJP. So
of course it would.
So we were like, it's silly to say, but we were the popular people, I guess, in the unit, and we were doing a lot of like this for that stuff, and realizing like. Yeah, dude. Oh, it was 19 or 1700s for us. Right. We were like, so I was a martial arts instructor and my buddy was the dispatcher for vehicles. So like we were two hookups, right? Like if you want to get promoted, you got to up your belt. So come to me. Right. And the barracks manager gave me and my buddy like the conjoined heads, no neighbor for both of us. So we had 4 rooms between the two of us. We slept in one room together, right? We made bunk beds, moved all the beds in. So we had 2 king bunk beds. It was awesome. We had
so much room for activities.
Dude, so it was exactly that.
Yeah.
We had our chill room where we had like a 70-inch TV. We had our scuba gear in another room. And then one of the rooms, we opened up a bar. So that's against the law. We made T-shirts, dude. We made T-shirts. It was Stiffies by the balcony because we were the last ones before the ladder well, the outdoor. So Stiffies by the balcony. It was open for 32 days. And then there was a huge command investigation. It was awesome. A lot of trouble. Could have gone to federal prison for selling alcohol. But it's no big deal, right?
I was going to say,
hearsay.
When you actually got in trouble, I would like to think that the people who are reading your NJP probably snickered a little bit. Like these guys are actually geniuses. Yeah.
It was awesome. And they had to like inventory all the alcohol. And like in the barracks, you're only allowed to have 1 liter of alcohol or a 12-pack as a sergeant. And we had 19 liters. So they
a little bit more than you're supposed to have.
Math for Marines. I didn't pass it. No big deal. I don't have to count. That's an enlisted supply guy. Don't know how to count. Got it.
Put the decimal point in the wrong place.
Yeah. So, oops. But they like line up all the bottles that they had when they're giving out like the NJP final reading, whatever. But that's where the entrepreneur started.
So that's really what inspires you to really pursue opening the tanning business.
Yeah.
And look, I don't think you could have picked a better one because I hear those do extremely well.
We never did it, but we went through the class as if we were going to. So it was fun. We made the best of it. Like it, yeah.
That's awesome. How come you never went through it with it? Was it a funding issue? Oh, okay.
No, so we didn't get out in the same spot. So from it, like we didn't know the resource that was there, and that is the big
That's
thing.
a huge problem, right? Like,
Huge
because there's a
problem.
ton of resources, man. One of the most incredible experiences I've ever had in my entire life, and I mean this, like, as far as going to any kind of professional development or whatever, was the DNLO Institute for Military Families and Veterans sent me. I got it picked up for the EBV program, and I went up to Philly in March. So 3 weeks online, and then you go to the in person for a week. It was incredible, man. Just from a connection standpoint, from a validation standpoint, and what direction I'm headed, from a respect standpoint, from like seriously seasoned business owners who really liked the direction I was going with things, to them offering me mentorship to this day outside of that experience. It's just an incredible experience.
I wish they did more, right? And like teaching the voc rehab side of things to be an entrepreneur. I hope they do a better job now, but they certainly didn't in 2013. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys don't open the tanning salon, but what do you this is the problem I see with most guys and gals that get out is, they're told I did this. I followed the TAP plan to a T. I used my GI Bill, exhausted it in flight school, used voc rehab to get the bachelor's, so that because I thought I wanted a career in aviation before I opened my eyes to what that actually looks like. Then get the bachelor's degree, and then enter corporate America and find out real quick, nobody wants to hire me because I'm a veteran, and I'm definitely not going to make six figures, right? Like, that is just not, it's not the reality. And that's what they're priming you to believe when you're getting out. So you had plans to open a tanning salon. You both go your separate ways. He goes to Tampa, you go back to New York. What did the struggle look like?
So I had a layover when I got out. So I was doing all my interviews from Japan on Skype at 3 a.m.
Before Zoom was nothing.
Yeah, I'm Skyping, right? And it's all pixelated, and it's, I've got to go work the rest of the day, right? And I'm waking up at 2 to get ready for a 3 a.m. interview. So it's just awful scenario. Did about 400 of those, got no job offers. End up getting like a GS5 entry level job in Indianapolis. So that's how I got out. It's to a place where there's no military unit. The only veterans around are these GS13s that are 52 years old. And, I'm the new guy. It wasn't great, but I kept this entrepreneurial thing, and I kept interviewing. And again, like, it's all a who thing. I would go to the same bar at the same time, and I would see the same people, right? So, like, I had to make friends, which is weird as a 27-year-old making new friends. So I end up meeting a guy whose best friend's in the Army, and that leads me down this path of, he's getting out and he's doing this, you should meet him. And he ends up being at the firm I'm with now, which is cool. So that's how I got back to New York. There was like a layover in Indianapolis, which I loved. It was awesome time there. But
Indy's a great city, man.
Yeah,
it really is.
I loved it. It's super clean, great food.
The potholes suck, but
yeah, I say it's just a clean version of Brooklyn, right? Like, it's trendy. It's a huge convention center. Diverse.
You got the Indy 500 there. Lucas Oil Stadium was voted best place to ever host the Super Bowl. They put a zip line down Main Street in the city.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
even like the convention center layout, all of it. It's such a well-designed city.
Yeah, it's not an accident. We had to have something in Indiana, man. We can't be forgotten about.
Yeah.
But
even the road work, the infrastructure of it. They must have done a whole bunch of what does DC look like? What does LA look like? What does Chicago? Take the worst of it and throw all of it out and start there.
I'm glad you had a good experience.
Great. Oh yeah, I rave about it. I bucket list the Indy 500. Whoever listens to it, go bucket list the Indy 500. Get infield tickets. You will not be let down.
and show up early, a few days before the race, because they closed the entire Main Street there. And I'm telling you, it's wild down there, man. Wild. There's all kinds of. It's family friendly. It's also very adult friendly. Like there's some strange shit that happens down there. If you're an adult, if you want to go check some of that out, it's a wild place. And I love that you're telling your story, man, because we talked about this before we started recording. The little mini epiphany that I had this morning, which I already knew, but life is a people business. And you just demonstrated that very clearly. Like, you're flying back from Japan, you got a layover in Indy, you meet a guy who says you need to meet this guy, and this guy works for the firm that you're currently working for now. Like, that's how it works. Like, it's a people business. Learn how to talk to people and build relationships. 100%, man.
Incredible.
So you land at this firm. Let's take it from there, man. Tell us what you're doing at the firm, like what your mission is, how that actually kind of impacted you and your transition, because transition sucks, man. And like the silence is deafening. You don't have a clue who you are or what you're going to do. It seems to me through every conversation we've had, you've landed in a really good spot. You're really happy. It's not soul sucking. You definitely don't seem like you want to kill yourself. You know what I mean? But that's a reality for so many guys who get out is they take the first job that comes their way. They don't land in a good spot. It doesn't resonate with them inside, and it sucks the life right out of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love what I do. I'm super passionate. And you said at the beginning, like, this is my purpose. It parallels the service that I did in the military, and like give back to the people that I genuinely care about. And it falls back to that too. So I do full service financial planning, and primarily for veteran-owned businesses. I went to school doing this, when I started out, and you're like, call your friends and family and get them to move their
warm market,
right? Yeah. So I'm like, that's great. And like, I helped my father retire, and that was one of the coolest things ever. Like, I went back to school and I got my master's in tax because I want to help veteran-owned businesses get more profitable so that they can hire other veterans and then, give them equity stake in the business to keep them engaged and motivated and help just build this entrepreneurial spirit. I love it. It's the coolest thing on earth. And most people don't want to open up the tax code. And I'm like, but that's like the rule book. And I like, it's monopoly. Like, everyone gets their money, but it's like house rules, like, every time we pass go, it's $100 to you and $100 in free parking. Like, everything is different. And if you know the rule book, you can do a lot with it. So I've loved it. It's awesome.
Well, I think this is a great example because I don't know. I know I just watched a video yesterday, and I don't know. I don't play the lottery, but Powerball was up to like 1.1 billion, and this was it was a lottery lawyer who was on there, and he starts talking about like, what's the smartest play if you win, and that's when I really opened my eyes to like the tax code and how not great it is for you, because from that 1 billion, you're going to pay like 27% right off the top to the federal government. And then you're going to pay your state tax. Here in Florida, it's like 7%. Long story short, basically, and then in April, the following year, you're going to pay another 20%. So literally you're walking away with like something like $263 million if you take the lump sum after all the taxes are said and done. So you're thinking you're a billionaire. You're not even close to a billionaire. His whole point was like, well, you would think that the annuity would be better, but it's really not, because you're going to pay more in taxes and you're probably going to spend way more dumb, even though you're going to be making like between $8 and $39 million a year for 30 years. If you don't put it away the right way, he basically sums it up and says, because of taxes, you're better off to take the lump sum, $263 million, put it in these vessels that will net you between $12 and $15 million a year for the rest of your life without ever touching the principal of the 263. I'm not smart enough to figure that out, so I need people like you. You know what I mean? People like you who are willing to open the tax code, dive into it, play the game. It's just, it doesn't resonate with me, man. I could open that book with good intentions and it's just going to go over my head because it doesn't register in my brain. It's boring to me. So we need people like you. How do you do this, man? How do you dive into this? It's like 1,700 pages, isn't it?
75,000, yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like 75,000 pages, and you've got to comb through that.
I've mastered it too. Like that's my mother can't imagine that I've mastered the tax code. It's cool. I don't know. It's where my people are, right? It's like, it's the answer to every question I've ever gotten, right? So in this, you know, at my firm, right, it's funny because we're strategic planning associates and I'm on the Strategic Veteran podcast. It's like, duh, perfect. Right. So at my firm, like we're all by trade, we are financial planners. We are insurance and wealth and investments and planning focused. And that led us to most of the questions that come back is like, well, what does that do for me for my taxes? What's the taxable event if I do this? And I had to stop saying, I hated saying, go ask your accountant because I don't know them. I didn't vet them. So I'm going to go be smarter than them. And that kind of, it's the Marine bravado, I guess, that led me to it. Like, I want to be smarter than the person I'm, telling you to go get advice from.
Right.
And that pride of like, I want to be the one with the answers. When things happen, I want to be that phone call and give you the bad answer. Like, this sucks. There's no way around it. It's black and white. There is no gray. That's the rule book. So I just like, ribbons are 1/8 of an inch above the breast. Like it's there.
It's lays it all out for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I love knowing that I can read it. I can dissect it. Sure, there's like different ways to interpret things, which is fun. But at the end of the day, like, my goal is make the most wealth you can without getting audited. Bingo. Right? Don't have anyone knock on your door.
I imagine there's like an element to this where like you do some of these things that are written in black and white, but then you just like set back and you're like, man, this should be illegal to know. I bet awesome. that's a common feeling that you get when you game the system. When you actually play by the rules you're supposed to play by, you're like, man, this should be illegal. I famously, love him or hate him, I remember Trump in his first election standing on the stage saying, I don't pay taxes because I play the same game of the people who wrote the damn code. And it's like, he just said the quiet part out loud. Like, just do this. This is why I'm a billionaire.
And that's what it is. Like, once you learn the rules to Monopoly, it's very simple. But you have to think about like who just voted on the Tax Act of 2025, big beautiful bill. It's Congress. And who is in Congress? It's landowners and business owners. Where do you think they make, and like, where do you think they put all of the good stuff? Right. So even like a financial profession doesn't get the same write-offs as a construction profession. Right. It's just different. They have a different piece, different NAICS codes, different formation. So all of that stuff, it's black and white. It's written.
Awesome.
It's awesome. But you don't have time. That's the thing.
Right. Without going and breaking any of the FINRA rules that I know you have to play by, can you speak to like some of the most common, like obvious things that you see people don't do? I'm trying to find a way to ask this question. I think you kind of get what I'm asking. Is like, are there things that you constantly see that people, it's just so obvious to you, but maybe not obvious to them, that just really kind of skyrockets their wealth building and all of this? Like, can you give examples of what that looks like?
Yeah. So that's a great question. You have to do what is designed for your goal.
Of course.
Don't take the blanket. So essentially what's going to get to is hire me, or someone like me.
That's where we're headed. Yeah, for sure. Of course.
But like, sit down with someone that will take the time and not, as soon as you hear a pitch of a product, like, take a step back and think. If they haven't asked you about your vision, your values, your goals, and date specific, time specific, when do you want to accomplish this? That's not good, true planning. That's product sales, right? Make sure you're working with someone that's got a CFP or something similar.
Series 6, 63, 7, that would be great.
But like, so I have the 6, the 7, the 63, but that person can still just sell.
Yeah, of course.
So it's that continued education piece, like the masters of tax. There's WMCP, CFP, RIC, like all of these letters that come after people's
alphabet
names.
soup, yeah.
Right. And those people are held to a different standard, a fiduciary level standard, where They have to act in the best interest of the client. They're not going to front load sell you something where they're going to make a big commission, right? So do that. Make sure it's like laser focused on your goals. And for any regulator that's going to watch this, my disclosures are at strategicplanningassociates.nm.com. You can find them there.
That's it. And I didn't even ask, you didn't even really give any information that I would think would be, like it's, I think it's so cool what you do, man, because I have an insurance background and I was on the scummy side, like I famously say, of insurance. And it was terrible. I was always selling out of desperation. I was selling an intangible product to people who don't know how money works, who can't even afford to really live.
Sure.
So how am I going to expect them to pay a premium? But I learned about IULs and some infinite banking concept stuff, and really started to fall down this rabbit hole and realize like I'm out of my depth with this stuff. I need to go talk to somebody like you who's willing to comb through 75,000 pages of a rule book. Like I'm the AI guy now, so I would probably load that into a vector database and actually just ask it questions with AI. I think that's may even be something you guys may be moving into here in the very near future, just because it's
present day.
Today. Yeah. Are you using this already?
Yeah. I know the questions to ask it because I know the tax code to hammer down.
Yeah.
So it's even to that, if you're not using AI, you're behind the game.
100%. Yeah, I say that all the time too, but I also know that in your industry, there's going to be some pushback with introducing AI and rules and all of this stuff. But I could go set up a system in about an hour today that takes all 75,000 pages of that tax code. Yeah. The only difference is I don't know the questions to ask it, but I'm going to definitely give myself a shortcut and learn. You know what I mean? Like I would very quickly be able to learn some hidden gems based on, and I think that's what's cool is like, I could do my due diligence for myself so that I know that if I'm sitting down with somebody like you, I'm not being bullshitted. I could see right through whether they're actually here to follow FINRA's laws and regulations about having my best interest at heart, or if you're just selling me a product based on desperation. And I would encourage people to do this. It's not hard to set up. It's really easy to learn how to do. And then you can have a conversation with it in a language that you speak that's not tax code, and it will go find legit black and white information for you. And so even if you don't have knowledge, or maybe you're not in a position where you're ready to go sit down with somebody like Rob, you can at least start doing your due diligence and educating yourself.
Absolutely. It's the future is now. It's excellent.
It's incredible, man. I just I love all this. Dude, what are the other mistakes that you're seeing people make? Is it just ignorance and not knowing?
Yeah, it's the cover of every magazine, right? That's right. You see this person made, X amount doing day trading, and that's the main issue we see. And 99% of people that do day trade are negative 74%, right? Like it's a made up statistic, by the way. I don't know what it really is, but
it's probably that, because day trading just blows people's fortunes. It's ridiculous. Like day trading is not something you take lightly at all. Like it's not as easy as you think. And as far as I know right now, even AI systems aren't very good at it.
They're not yet. It will be fun to watch this happen. But it happened when the internet came out and people are going to be able to do their own research, and that didn't work. And then you had algorithms trying to do it, and those didn't keep up. So it's who you know, and like these people are making deals at tables that are not where we're sitting. So
of course,
we're always going to be behind. And if I'm in charge of entering the data into the computer and I'm behind, the computer is going to be a step behind. So there's some fun in speculation. I'm not saying that don't day trade, but again, it goes back to if you have that like dead set goal, don't, if you have to buy a house or pay your mortgage, right, you got to make sure that the plan is aligned and
Yes. Speaking of day trading too, if you're genuinely someone who's interested in day trading, you need to know the rules of the game, and you need to know right off the bat getting into it, you're at an unfair advantage, because all of these giant stock exchange companies on Wall Street, they have access to a like $50,000 a month software that gives them real time, ridiculous to just charts and all of this. I forget the name of the system. You might know what it is.
A Bloomberg terminal.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, it's ridiculously expensive, and it's the only way you can play that game and win.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you automatically know you're at an unfair advantage unless you can swing a Bloomberg terminal for a month, and then good luck trying to learn how to use it.
Yeah, that's like we have in-house traders here for us. I don't even know how to do that, right? Like I'm the front end side, I'm the face, like
right.
When it comes to like offloading lots and trading, that's nope. Not my ball.
Well, and I've been rubbing elbows with a lot of you financial professionals, and I really what I'm starting to realize is like you guys are just a different breed. Your brains work differently, and you guys are very special individuals. I envy the shit out of you because it's not that I can't add, subtract, multiply, divide. It's not like I don't understand the concepts, but it's like it's just a lot, man. There's a lot that goes into all of it, from what you do to what the day traders do to, even the big hedge fund guys. Like I just can't wrap my head around all of it because you need to know so many different things for how all this shit plays out. And I'm just like, no. And then there's the pressure of like, I'm not a gambler. I've never been a gambler. So like, even if I go put $5 on a blackjack hand and I lose it, it's like massive anxiety for me. Right. Like I just don't like that. So that emotion makes the trading game and anything financial like that way harder for me to do too. So like, I really want people to understand, like, if you want to get wealthy, like go find people like Rob who just have brains for this. Like, don't think that you can do this yourself. This is very much a situation where it's worth every penny to pay somebody to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
I just, man, I know what I'm good at, man. And that's my opinion. And like, I think I'm not the exception. I think I'm the rule. I think most people need to find a you to do this shit for them.
Right. I'm not holier than thou up in an ivory tower type either. Like I know that like I pay my taxes because I have the garbage people take my garbage away. Like I'm the same. If people had 2 hours or 2 weeks out of the year where they can dedicate to financial planning, they would know everything I know. Yeah. Right. Like it's not, I'm just in it every day. That's my purpose. I don't change my own oil. I don't rotate my own tires, right? Like I don't have the time for those things.
Right.
You know? So like I get it. I'm a piece in all of this. It's a piece where like dollar signs are attached, and that's really cool and all. And hopefully, like I said, it's I love it. So it's like selfish of me sometimes to be like, it's a really great job and I can do what I like. That's a picture of my beautiful wife and baby behind me. Like I get to do a lot of great stuff. But I think it's like you said, like I'm so freaking passionate about it and love it. And that's my separator, man. That's what's cool.
And as we're wrapping up here, let's talk about, you're the founder of Vets Lives Matter. So what is Vets Lives Matter and what are you doing with that? What's the mission there?
So that started out in 2014 as just like another suicide awareness type thing. And, we thought we were going to be the next Wounded Warrior Project, like every other 2014 nonprofit. We never went down the nonprofit route after that. We saw what was happening. We stayed for profit. What ended up doing is we don't do any type of money exchange. Right. So it's a really nice thing. It's just a platform for me to tell more of the stories of people. And then we've got a couple people we ended up turning into like a nonprofit consulting. Again, like if you narrow your focus, you can reach more people. Right. If you find that niche. So through that, it's gotten me to being a chapter captain for Team Red, White, and Blue. To being a member of the Travis Onion Foundation up here, the president of the New York Veteran-Owned Business Association, vice president of Project Nylon. Like it helped me get to all of that.
Created opportunities for you.
It was the platform for storytelling, right? And now that's like a major social media presence for me where if I'm hearing of something, I'm going to pump it out. So... Dude. It started out with an idea and it turned into like, let's just make this. There's too many things. it's like a give back, you know,
dude. And it's just like this. The show doesn't really do anything other than generate opportunity for me, and that is worth more than any money it will ever make. Is just the ability to create something that then endlessly creates opportunity for you. That's so freaking cool, and that's what Vets Lives Matter was for you. Now you've got as many things on your plate as I've got on my plate, and sometimes I wonder. It's fun, but sometimes I'm like, man, I'm a fucking idiot. Why am I doing so many damn things? Like, it ebbs and flows. I happen to be in a period where everything is like come and due at once, right? And then like I'll go 3 months, and it'll be kind of like, man, I need to do more or whatever, right? Yeah. It's wild. But, man, Rob, I really appreciate you being here, man. I want people to be able to reach out to you, find you, to have an opportunity to sit down with you and show them what a real financial plan with somebody who genuinely cares and knows his job looks like. So, man, the last little bit here is for you to throw out all of your offers, your links, all that good stuff.
Yeah, thank you. The red carpet is out. Everyone can take their photos. So on the social media, I don't do Facebook a ton, but I'm out there. Rob Novotny. I don't know. Will this show up? Yeah. This name thing? Cool.
It should.
So that's me on Instagram. That's me on Facebook. Vets Lives Matter handle on Instagram. Big LinkedIn guy where it's actually like Robert. Ooh, I know.
Really professional.
Professional out there. And it's got MST afterwards because I have a master's in tax. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I have a master's in tax. And I do that more than like, I was in the Marine Corps. I have a master's in tax, both. And then the website is strategicplanningassociates.nm.com. That is where I've got a video up there of me in the field doing cool stuff. The good stuff, man. That's where you can find me. LinkedIn mainly for professional stuff. Instagram to see some cool things, and beautiful wife and baby back there making appearances once or twice.
Yeah. So in other words, if you want his help, reach out to him on LinkedIn. That's where you're going to get him the best. Rob, man, I really appreciate you being here today, telling your story and educating the audience on just what's available to them out there. It means the world to me, man. I've thoroughly enjoyed this, and just grateful you decided you wanted to do this, man.
Yeah, and kudos to you, Adam. This is great, dude. Let's keep it moving, dude.
100%. I'm not going to stop. Come on.
Do more. Just do more.
That's it. Yeah, just do more. Yeah, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rob Novotny. If anything we've said here today really interests you, he's a stand-up dude. He will make time to have a conversation with you and help you get to where you're going. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Take this as an opportunity to really build your network and make real relationships with people so that you can get to where you want to go, because life is a people business. And I promise you, when you realize that and you start letting people into your life, complete strangers, things will change for you. Until next week, take care, everybody. We'll be back with another awesome episode. That's our show, and I'm truly thankful you've joined us at The Strategic Veteran. If our conversation today sparked curiosity, or if you're ready to elevate your game, I'm here to help. Visit thestrategicveteran.com for exclusive show notes and resources, or to book a coaching session directly with me. Take a moment to subscribe to our podcast and share your review. Your support makes all the difference. For more insights and daily strategies, let's connect on LinkedIn and keep the conversation going. Remember, this isn't just a podcast, it's your strategic advantage in action. Until our next rendezvous, stay bold and continue the mission.